Welcome to our Posh podcast. I am Gabrielle, and I'm your host today, here with my beautiful daughter, co-host Marcella.
Hello.
And my buddy, Bernie.
I don't get beautiful.
You're beautiful.
Handsome.
Thank you. Hello.
Our amazing Spider back there that is our DJ and handles everything.
Hey, yo.
Hello. And we have an amazing guest today that I'm very excited to interview. Her name is Gail Hourani. Is that how you say it?
Bashara.
Bashara. So you don't use your middle.
Oh, Hourani.
Hourani.
Mm-hmm.
Gail Hourani Bashara.
Correct.
That is. We got introduced to you by a hairdresser that we know that we have used before.
Who?
Dawn.
Who?
Dawn is an amazing
Who's Dawn?
hairdresser. She's in Plano. We love her.
What's her last name?
Clark.
Clark. That's right.
Why do I know that name?
She is an amazing girl, and she alerted us to you, and she said you have to have her on the show because Gail wrote a book, and I want to show everyone this book. It is called Plastic Surgery Confessions.
Mm-hmm.
When we first met with Gail, she took the book out, and I'm like, what the heck? So not only is this a cool cover, right? And
that is cool.
We use this cover, this picture in our media
Is that
kit.
what it is from?
We have
Yes.
one, yes. It's
Did
one
not
of the
know
pictures
that.
we use in our media kit. So I was like, oh my gosh. And then I found out that her main character in this book, her name is Gabrielle.
Yeah.
I was going to ask if this is a fictional, but it may not be fictional.
So, and everything's pink. So we're like,
She's
met her.
perfect.
She's perfect for us. She's a perfect.
Bernie also loves pink now that he has
I
been on
do.
the show for
I'm kind of
so
liking
long.
orange mango-ish right now. For those who don't know, Gail brought us
some Orgy.
It's called Orgy. It's actually really good.
It's really good.
There's mango and papaya, and what's mango, papaya, lime, and it's a French vodka.
It's very dangerous because it tastes like juice.
It's spelled OR-G. You should check it out. It's actually really good.
It's not the first dangerous orgy that's happened in that room.
That's actually
Well, and she
I don't know if I want to touch anything right now with you saying that.
Hey, I use a lot of disinfectant.
perfect.
I would believe that at the last studio, but this one, I don't know.
There's more room here.
Beware of the couch.
There's a couch over there.
The black couch for anyone who doesn't know.
Well, and Gail brought us this drink because this is hot off the press. Her new
promo piece.
piece in Plastic Surgery Confessions injection shot.
So how would you
really-
promote that? So what was your thought rationale in getting? So for those who are just listening, it's a syringe. You can use it to. Have you ever been in a bar where it's usually in New
Gay
Orleans,
bars.
right? In gay bars, really?
Or New
Oh, yeah.
Orleans.
No, New Orleans. I think more New Orleans than that. It's a syringe where you can do a shot.
Marcella
in there.
loves it.
So what? I know. Do you want some more? So what made you go with the syringe shot thing?
Well, I'm doing some book signings and trying to promote the book. I was really pretty much doing a soft opening. And I thought, we need some promo pieces. Should we do some T-shirts that say Plastic Surgery Confessions? But nobody's going to wear that. I thought maybe 80s headbands. I was thinking of pins. Nothing was clicking. And finally, I just went, it has to be a syringe.
It's so perfect.
It's so great.
That's good.
And this is multi-purpose because you can have a Botox injection or do a shot.
awesome.
I like both of those things,
You can
actually.
do both. Get two syringes and do
I
it all
think
at
it's
the same
awesome.
time. Although, do not be drinking when you're doing Botox or getting in if you're the injector. Of
Yeah,
Botox.
please don't.
Interesting. Very cool.
So we met Dawn when Dawn told us about Gail, and so we met her for a minute, and she showed us the book, and so we knew she was perfect. And then I started reading the book, and when I really paid attention to it, preparing for the show, I noticed two things right off the bat that were very interesting. But the main character's name is Gabrielle, but that is really Gail in the book. Is it you? Is that character Gail?
There are many similarities.
Between you and Gabrielle?
Yes.
So I read the book, and
How long did it take you to read it?
I not very long. I didn't get all the way through, but
Yeah.
I'm almost through.
Yeah.
And I loved it. I got so into it. I was actually so upset that the show was coming. I had to stop reading it. It is extremely, I thought it was mind-blowing, some of it, really. And that's what you want out of a book because you want to keep reading it, right?
Right.
And on the cover, though, on the back of the cover, she says something very funny to me that I was like, she said she left Oklahoma precisely 37 seconds after turning 18.
37 seconds.
37. So what that basically means is she couldn't wait to get out of Oklahoma, which I don't blame you.
Could not get out fast enough.
And
What part of Oklahoma?
Oh, dear. Northeastern. A
what's-
small town near Tulsa.
Okay.
and then another quote from her father, which said, "I'm so glad I'm not here to witness any of this."
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about
Yeah.
that.
While I have some more of your orgy stuff, which I never, ever drink in the studio, but this is really good.
It is good.
Well, I guess a lot of my family,
Hey.
Yeah, let's try.
a lot of my
You wanna try?
family are writers, but they
Oh, really?
yes, but they write historical novels and not historical novels, historical books
Okay.
with footnotes and maps and all that stuff, and so the reason I used my husband's last name on there is because I was afraid my family would disown me.
No way.
This is your now husband's last name.
Yes,
Oh,
Really?
Got
Bashara.
it.
so
Wow. It's because you were afraid they would disown you.
well,
So they didn't know about this book?
they should
Oh, okay.
by now.
Okay.
But
They are going to. And this,
yeah,
But they haven't said anything to you.
no one said much.
how long has the book been out?
End of October.
It just came out.
Yes.
And no one has talked to you yet in your family about it.
No.
Well, I'm telling you,
Wow.
I was reading it and I was like, this book is so awesome because I love when people come on our show and you can interview them and you can tell that they're completely honest. And in this book, there's some stuff in there. I feel like she was writing from her own experiences. You can tell, you could just feel
Well,
it.
No, and with that being said, so what was your
I was about to ask
motivation?
the same
Yeah,
thing.
like,
What
what's your
made you
motivation
write
here?
this book?
Okay. So, as a thigh and nose challenged Lebanese American girl, I've spent a lot of time in the offices of plastic surgeons, and so
Thigh and nose challenge.
Is your husband a plastic surgeon?
no,
Okay.
no.
She said thigh and nose challenged.
Thigh and nose
That's right.
Is that a real thing for all you're Lebanese,
Yeah.
correct? Is that a thing
The
that
nose.
The nose,
Mhm.
it's the nose?
and also Lebanese people do a lot. Lebanese women particularly do a lot of plastic surgery.
Is that also a well-known thing?
Has it always
Yes.
been that way? I was gonna say, has it always been that way? Because right now it feels like everybody does
Yeah.
plastic
I
surgery.
mean,
It's
I've
like
heard about the Lebanese nose. I've
Yeah.
heard that
Really?
a lot. Yeah.
And
So
the
what is it-
thighs is too?
Sorry, go ahead.
No,
What were you saying?
I'm just like, I didn't know that the thighs is a thing
Thighs and hips.
for Lebanese.
Yeah.
Oh.
So what is it? So is it that historically, or whatever you want to articulate this, that Lebanese women or men and women, they tend to have crooked noses or big noses, or what's the nose deal?
Large.
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 And what about the thighs and stuff like that? Because that seems like that would be.
Large.
Really?
So is that?
But big thighs is a good thing, I think.
No, big thighs are not always a good thing.
Oh, well, I
but
meant-
depends on. But
Yeah.
yes, they can be a great thing.
Yeah.
But all right, so
Look at your nose, though. Cute little nose
Cute
you
little
have.
big nose.
Thank
all
you.
right. So what was your motivation for this whole deal?
Okay, so while sitting around the offices of these plastic surgeons, and they're so grand, and with their expensive suits and their expensive cars and their expensive wives and girlfriends, and
Or one and the same, their wives and their girlfriends.
and they're just among the plastic surgery world, they're like the rock stars,
Right.
Right.
of surgeons. And so I just had a lot of times to spend sitting in their offices, and I was thinking, okay, these guys know all of our secrets. They know where every mole is. They've taken unflattering pictures of us under fluorescent lights. What kind of secrets might they have? And so then I just kind of went nuts with that.
Interesting.
Wow.
So, I'm typically the one who asks the most intimate questions or the most awkward questions for anybody here.
We love
So,
it.
what all of you had done? Do you mind me asking? Actually, I'm asking you what all of you had done. I don't care if you mind. I want to know what everyone wants to know, because it goes. I think it shows with this here. If you're having plastic surgery confessions, what all of you had done.
Oh my gosh. Well, let's see. How much time do we have?
I was like, yeah, we're right there.
I should look at the time.
The short list, quick version.
It's probably better for me to tell you what I have not had done.
Really? What have you not had done?
Well, I have not had my legs lengthened, which is a thing.
What?
What?
Like, that's
Okay,
actually
so-
like you have to say that right now. That's a thing.
I've never heard that. So let me say that when I worked,
I know about it.
But if I'm first in line if it happens.
so that does happen. People do that, but
Mhm.
that's usually more
The
for
stretching.
kids that their growth plates. Because I worked for a big $14 billion medical device company, and we would do external fixators, and we could actually stretch out bones and stuff like that. However, I've never even kind of thought to thinking of maybe of how it could be done in a cosmetic type of deal ever. But
Yeah.
surely there's people who do it because there's people who do their knees too. You heard that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and
to me, more
knee
than-
lifts.
Yes,
I
I
never
want
heard-
one.
okay.
Oh, I get the
Why?
knee lift
Why? So, okay,
Because-
before we go further, tell me that real quick because I've never understood that.
Oh,
because the knees.
Have
I
you had the
feel
knees
like
done?
no.
Okay, what is the knees? Tell me.
Okay, so
They start to look.
in my case, I'm going to talk about myself only.
Yes.
I've always had good legs. That's been my thing.
What do you think of this, by the way? The drink.
What?
What did you? Sorry. What did you think
Oh,
about the drink?
I like the drink,
Okay.
but I think I would rather have this with what she has. Anyways, and then when you get older, it's like everything drops, right?
Everything.
I will say I do
drops.
understand that. I think anyone as we age, you
Everything
probably
drops.
Are you experiencing anything like that now? At your
Yes,
age?
I
'Cause
have
you-
wrinkles on my face. I need Botox.
All right. So, but I will say this: I feel like I'm 42. I just turned 42 in December, and I feel like I can notice. And I work out a ton, and I'm very healthy. I'm health conscious, and I feel like I'm noticing gravity says gives
Gravity
me a
is
middle
your
finger to
biggest
everybody.
enemy, and
Yes.
so what happens is like around your knees, like this is weird, like weird skin starts happening, and it's just it's driving me crazy. I'm like, okay,
How do you do that? What's the procedure?
Well,
Because I know
first
the
of all-
facelift, you cut here, you stretch back. What do you do with the knee
Well, I
lift?
think I've seen online you can inject your knees. Actually,
mm-hmm.
just
Really?
an injection.
yeah.
Interesting.
It's a thing. And
That's
it's-
crazy.
and-
I'm not surprised.
And
but
what
yeah.
happens is like all of a sudden you instead of wearing shorter dresses, you kind of go, ugh,
Mhm.
my knees, they look awful.
Tights.
I've never
Tight.
heard that.
Yes, or tights.
I've never heard that before.
But here in this town, like you can't wear tights in 110 degrees.
Right.
You die.
Shit. Shit. There's people who figure ways, wear tights and all that stuff. But anyways, continue on.
Well, I say after 33, we're all in it together because at that point, you get something, fixed or lifted or pumped up from working out, and then something else falls. It's just like nonstop maintenance from 33
Nonstop.
on.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, I even think the same thing you were saying. Like I notice, and we've had people, I guess, on before who worked in dermatology or whatever. And I'm a big believer. I have these 3 prominent wrinkles on my forehead, and I feel like a pug, my mom used to call it like a what is it, Shar-Pei, like these wrinkles here. But I've had I don't know if
Good
it's Botox
doggy.
or fillers or what it is, but I've had. Thanks. I just caught that. But I've had it, and it's nice because it does fill those out. You're still lines there, but they're not as deep and whatnot.
Yeah.
So, but the problem was the first time I had it done, first or second time I had it done was a buddy of mine who's a plastic surgeon. He's badass. And he did it for free. We were good friends. He's like, dude, just come on in. We'll do it. So the problem was when he hit it, he injected a little too low, and it gave me this droopy brow. Like
That happens. Yeah.
it was one of those things where I couldn't look up. I had
It gives
to
you like a
actually.
headache.
I didn't get a headache.
Oh, it makes
but every
me
time that
tired.
I would try to look up, it was frozen. So I had to actually lift my head up to look up. And then we went and re-injected a few places. But yeah, it's something that I think you're right. Plus 33, we're all in this damn
And-
game.
Maintenance.
I mean, I just, the whole plastic surgery thing is just crazy. When I read the book, I would like to, if you wouldn't mind, go back to a little bit so we can learn more about your upbringing a little bit, because I feel like that this book came about because there's a lot of stuff in your upbringing, and I literally read it and I went, whoa, Gail, this is unbelievable. So I think everyone should hear a little bit about it, but tell us, so you had a typical, very conservative Lebanese Christian
Lebanese family.
family, and what I didn't know, and this is just unreal to think about, arranged marriage. Like
Oh.
your parents were in an arranged marriage, right?
No, I made that up.
Oh, you made it up.
Oh, okay.
Why don't you let her tell us? a
Yeah,
little bit?
tell
Yeah.
us.
I thought you were saying that right now you're in an arranged marriage, but
No, but it
continue
said
on.
that. But that is a thing in that culture, correct?
It used to be.
Oh, okay.
And, of course, they like for you to stay within, like, if you're Catholic, they want you to marry another Catholic. And,
Right.
I guess the same for, other ethnicities as well.
that seems
Right.
pretty natural. Pretty.
Yeah.
I know a lot of Hispanics are Catholic and they like that whole deal. Or even if you're, let's
Yeah.
say, Christian, you want someone to marry another Christian.
Yeah.
Ideally.
So tell us a little bit about that.
There's a large Lebanese population in Oklahoma, believe it or not.
Really?
And most of the people that are in Oklahoma are from the same hometown that my grandparents came from.
Wow.
Which
So-
is
In Lebanon, it's called Merjayoun. It's in South Lebanon.
Okay.
So anyway, so there are all these Lebanese families, but then we're also growing up with people who didn't know what Lebanese was, and they thought we were Mexicans. And,
Oh, wow.
we ate weird food. They didn't know what a grape leaf was.
I
And-
love Lebanese food.
Oh, thank you.
I like grape leaves.
I don't like grape leaves.
I don't know. I've never had them.
So good.
I'm not a fan of them, but I think people either they love it or they, like me, hate it.
Do you make them? So random.
can.
Oh god, so good.
What do you put in your grape? Like, so I've never heard anyone ask that question. I just think, I don't think I've ever had anyone ask that.
What is it?
So when I think of grape leaves, I think of just it's like wrapping with like inside of there's meat or
Green.
something inside of there, right?
So good.
Yeah, I do vegetarian and I do with meat. So
Okay.
when I have parties,
What kind of meat? What kind of
No,
meat?
it's bad.
usually just ground beef.
Oh,
They're
it
so
sounds
good.
so good.
Anyway,
I will say it has been a couple of years since I've had it, so I may.
whenever I see them, I eat them. But that's just my side note, by the way. I think they're very good.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
So anyway, my father was a really, really nice guy. He was way too nice. And sometimes we had money and sometimes we didn't. And we'd, go back and forth. And we had a little store called the Hamburger King, which was a little diner that he ran with his uncle, or with his brother, rather, my uncle. And, my father wouldn't collect the bills. He would just let people, oh, okay, we'll give you credit and all that kind of stuff. So all this was going on. And also a lot of our customers were like Pentecostals and stuff like that.
I
So
was raised Pentecostal. It's very hellfire and brimstone-ish.
Yeah.
Like hardcore.
So anyway, there were all these, different, being Lebanese was quite different than the population of Oklahoma, as you might imagine. So I just kind of never really fit in. And, all of my relatives lived in, London and Paris and Beirut. And I'm stuck in Oklahoma, as I call it, Gravestone. Gravestone, Oklahoma. So I couldn't wait to get out. So when I turned 18, I was determined to leave. And
And you went to Houston?
no, I moved to Dallas.
Really?
Yeah.
What made you go to Dallas?
Well, I love my father very much for all his poor business decisions. And it was close enough that I could drive up and see him whenever I wanted to.
So were you the only child?
No, I have a younger brother.
You do. Were you the miracle child?
Yes.
Yes. Treated like a princess?
Yes.
Yes.
My father was 43 when I was born, and my mother was 36, and they really never thought they'd have kids. And so,
Oh.
And did they have a volatile relationship? Or
Yes,
no?
they hated each other.
They hated
did.
each other.
Are they still together today?
no, they're both deceased.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Did they stay together the entire time until they were deceased?
Yes.
Hating your life, huh?
Wow.
Which
How
was
long?
another reason to get out.
How long were they together?
I don't know.
But-
oh, wow.
So that was a thing.
Mhm.
That I actually could relate to what you said about as a child laying in bed and hearing them fighting. That
Yeah.
happened to me, and it is extremely difficult to go through, I think.
Yeah, and I think it made me really determined that, like, I know when I had boyfriends in high school, I'd go, they'd say, oh, I love you. I was like, okay, I'm not going to say it. Just want to get out of here.
Oh, wow.
And
That's
I'm
all,
never,
that
and
was
I'm
your
never going to get
determination.
married.
So it really impacted your thought on
Marriage.
love and marriage and everything.
So how have you been married only one time?
Yes,
Oh, wow. When did
Oh,
you
really?
get married?
in 1985.
Oh, wow. So you've been married a long time.
Mhm.
And how is your marriage?
Well, fortunately, my husband is kind of like an absent-minded professor, and he, I sell radio advertising for 5 rock stations, and he doesn't really know what I do, and he doesn't really pay attention. And, I think that's where I put in the book, oh, she's so cute with her little commission checks. I was like, okay.
So are you guys not very involved with each other?
No, we are. He's just kind of, he's into charts and graphs.
So has that been something that's been beneficial? Do you feel like in your marriage, you guys have your own separate lives, it seems like?
I think so.
I think that works for some people.
Yeah, it really does.
Clearly it works for some people. You guys married for how long now?
30
some odd years.
Yep.
She's
like, I don't know.
She's like, shit. Wow. That's crazy.
That's awesome.
Has the way you're raised and kind of the frustrations you felt as a child, seeing your parents, kind of thing, did that impact your marriage?
I do think that I'm not a very good wife.
Why?
Why is that? Is it because of infidelity? Is it because you just don't?
I think I just didn't have any good examples.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but
and I didn't really know how to do it, and I didn't want to be a mother. I knew I did not have that.
Do you have children?
No.
But would you say do you still feel like you're not a good wife, or do you feel like you guys 30 some odd years, you guys have got a chance to really know each other? I mean, that's a long time.
I think I'm better.
Oh my God.
Have you guys ever came to the point of considering divorce, or has it been something where?
Oh, sure, all the time.
Okay. No, that's super normal. I think.
Doesn't every married person say that?
I'd say so.
I don't.
Yeah, but y'all are not. You don't get to count. You don't ever get to count. You and Patrick don't get to count ever.
Why?
Are they too
Because
perfect?
y'all just yes,
Not perfect.
Yes, they're pretty damn perfect compared to everyone else I've ever seen on the history of the planet of the world. Yes, and I've been married before, so
good.
Patrick is awesome.
I will say, to address what I think you're trying to ask me, is that yes, this was really written from pain.
I could tell when I was reading it.
So.
I was like, there's a lot of obviously, like, were you a rebellious teenager? Is that?
Oh, sure.
Yeah, you were.
Me too. Well,
What?
18.
Do you? No way.
Shocking.
So,
I know everyone's shocked about that.
No kidding, right? I guess if they met Gino and they totally,
yeah.
they'd be very shocked. Like, what?
Yeah,
She did
right.
what?
I know.
So you say it came out of pain.
Mm-hmm.
So did you feel like you weren't enough growing up? Did you feel, because, I'm putting the two together of plastic surgery. Usually when, like for me, I'll go with me. Well, the reason I'm like, give me some Botox or fillers, whatever, is because I hate the way, I'm aging. I don't want to age. I want to.
No, nobody
I
wants
want the fucking
to.
fountain of youth is what I'd like to have. But it's just not the case, right? So for me, fortunately, it's just 3 wrinkles on my forehead that I want to work on. But I've known a lot of friends of mine who've had a ton of plastic surgery. My ex-wife, who I have a great relationship with, she's had 3 boob jobs. She had a mommy makeover, but she just didn't like how she felt about herself. And so when you say it came from pain, did you get addicted to plastic surgery because you wanted to feel better about yourself?
Well, no, just trying to make, the improvements that are needed.
Well, that were needed based on what?
I guess my exterior appearance.
So when you say it came out of pain,
Well, the book came out of pain.
well, and I'm relating it all to the book,
Oh.
right? Everything I'm doing is based on the book. Did you write? We're talking about plastic surgery. You said you was more of a list of what you haven't done than have done. So, and we're all talking about stuff that I guess kneecaps want to get done. And,
Kneecaps.
Yeah.
Not my caps.
In the skin, I don't know. So, so that's
above.
but that's why I'm asking.
I want certain things done, but I don't feel like it's because I'm missing something.
What would you
It's
get
just
done?
My nose.
I am always looking at her nose going, it's perfect. What's wrong with
Well, I
it?
have an Italian nose. That's the
You
same
don't.
thing.
Oh.
It's
No,
like
you
my
have
dad.
you have a good nose.
No, I want
I'm
a
surprised-
little bit smaller.
I'm surprised only because of its normal that and
Boobs?
yeah, I'm surprised. Why
Never
have you not got your boobs done?
Do you know the only time I want boobs is in the summer because I think they look better in a swimsuit.
Yeah.
Well,
But
just because if anyone who's ever seen Marcella's page, follow her. She wears a lot of risque swimsuits
Yeah.
and lingerie, but that's also part of the business that
Right.
you and Gabrielle do.
Yeah.
So, but I've wondered that. I'm like, I don't know why now. I guess because we're talking about now, I'm just surprised you've never done that.
It's weird. That's not like the number one desire. I have had my ears done because I got
What you have done?
rhino. That's your
That's
nose.
your
Autoplasty.
So what is that?
when you get your ears pinned back?
Why?
Because when I was little, my mother put my hair up from my ears up, and I went to school. And at the time, I don't think my ears fit my face, and they were really big. And somebody called me Dumbo, and it stuck in my head for forever. And then at the studio, the kids would call me Mickey Mouse or Minnie Mouse.
How long did you get this?
I got it done in 2012.
Okay, now you biologically have to love your daughter. It's just naturally done there. We can all, Jet, my son, is the most beautiful, handsome man I love my son more than anything. So it'd be a little hard for me to say, well, Jet, yeah, he could do this or that. But did you think that was, I mean, it's not a negative to say, yeah, she did it. It's already been done. Do you think that, yeah, I could see where maybe a little bit of her stuck out?
I understood why she wanted it done. It was just, they just
stuck out
forward. I mean,
you have old pictures? I'm curious.
Oh yeah, and if I show you, you're gonna go, it's not bad.
Show me.
But to me, I'd have to look for it. But to me, I'll show you because I don't mind. But to me, it just really bugged me. Like I couldn't wear my hair up, and as a dancer, it was frustrating.
And this in 2000 when?
Oh yeah,
Like 12, I got it done finally.
But this was after I had met you, because I met you in 06.
Yeah, it was way like
6.
I was with Ryan at the time.
you wouldn't
I didn't know Ryan.
notice.
I didn't know Ryan.
You would not have
No,
noticed.
that's right. You always had your hair down,
Yeah.
except for I followed you on MySpace, or we were friends at MySpace. I forgot all about
you
that.
guys. Oh my
But
God.
your things were always dancing things. But
Yeah,
I
get plastic surgery because we're our own worst critic, and I've even looked at all the things that they come out with now, and I'm like, oh, I want one day I'm going to do that, and I'm going to do that, like that you can get like an injection right here to get rid of what the bra fat. Not that I'm saying right now, but I would
it's called pit pudge.
Oh, pit pudge. I would do that.
What it is? Right
Just
here,
ask
reference.
Gail.
I can understand, like the nose, especially. I think on girls, I think that is a big one.
My ex-wife got her nose done. Sorry to spit. She got her nose done too. Yeah.
I can see it because if it's like girls need like little features. I don't like big features.
Here's a problem with some of the plastic surgery though. Once you cut, you can't uncut.
I know.
So that's where the downside is when you see people who do facelifts.
Right.
I mean, and it's just their skin looks so pulled back. It'd be different if there was you could do like mini facelifts and stuff like that.
But I think that's why you have to find like a good surgeon.
But no surgeon, not everyone's 100%. Like me, they're not always 100% on, right?
Well, it hurts.
Sorry.
Well, in the book, it was kind of cool because she talks about this very wealthy plastic surgeon that was the up and coming. Everyone went to him, and then he kind of got addicted to drugs and alcohol.
Is that
and
real?
Started doing.
Honestly, the surgeons are pretty much composites.
What do you mean?
Composite. It's not like based on one person.
Oh, it's
Wait, go back because that didn't make. I apologize. That didn't make sense to me when you said that.
Okay.
Composite.
So you're talking about their specialists? Is that what you're saying? Because I do know that there's specialists who do nose jobs. There's guys who do
I
boob
think
jobs.
she's
What do you
saying
say?
that
In the
book she made up surgeons that were part of all kinds of surgeons you've met. Like you put all their
Yes.
characteristics together.
Yeah, and stories I heard from girlfriends, like the horror stories, the bad stories, and then I also got a whole lot of things off the internet.
Wow. That's
Are
cool.
you a fan of Botched? Do you watch
Oh, I love butts.
I can't stand it.
Oh, you
Why?
can't stand it.
I can't stand to watch it.
Why's that?
It just creeps me out.
Yeah, I could see that.
It's crazy some of the stuff people are willing to do.
You know what I think we need to do? We need to take a short break and call Miss Polly.
All right.
And then we'll come back with Gail for a second hour and we'll learn a lot more about plastic surgery
Sounds good.
stuff. So I can't wait to talk to Miss Polly. I haven't had her in so long.
I know.
I don't think I'm used to this like that. That one right
I
there.
love it.
I hate it.
I know. I love it. We just haven't had it in forever.
Next one.
Hello.
Miss Polly! Can you tell we missed
Merry
you?
Christmas. Happy New Year.
lot.
And all of that.
And all of that.
Say something again for me, Miss Polly.
Okay.
All right. Sound all right. Y'all ready?
Yeah, we're ready.
All
Perfect.
right, let's see what we got.
Oh,
What? Some people call her the modern day Dr. Ruth. I like to call her the gangster of love. Whatever you call her, it's party time with Miss Polly.
Oh my God.
So cute.
Spider, that's the best.
That was funny.
That's better than ever.
I know, that is
I
the
have to agree with
best.
you on that one for sure.
Hey, Miss Polly, I have a question.
Okay.
Do you ever find that you're just casually holding your own boob like this? I'm showing a picture
Me.
where
I do that a lot.
women.
Hold your own boob?
I kind
Marcella
of mess
does it
with my boobs
all the
all the
time.
time.
Yeah, but what's your rationale behind you doing it? Like, what are you doing it for? It's just natural. You're not thinking about it, right?
She has
They're
no idea.
boobs.
She doesn't even know she does
I
it.
would do the same thing.
Literally, Patrick has to tell her all the time, Marcella, what the fuck are you doing? Stop
So
holding your boob.
Funny.
I don't know what I'm doing.
I mean, when she gets out of the water in the pool, out of the ocean, it's always like,
No,
look at her.
You've
What she
walked
does.
in here before, and I was like, "What are you doing?"
Dude,
I play with them
funny.
all the time. I'm not sure.
It's
not sure. I don't know.
self-soothing. It's
Self-soothing.
self-soothing.
I'm sorry.
Is it
guys.
really?
Maybe it's my
Funny.
anxiety.
Yeah. It does. You
Are
have
you okay?
anxiety.
Stop crying.
Your
Just play with your
boobs.
boobs. Just
It
grab your
makes you
boob.
happy.
Grab your boob.
She said it makes you happy.
I never grab my boobs, ever.
I
need
grab
some-
my boobs
I need
sometimes.
some support boobs, like people have support animals.
Support boobs.
It's like a stress ball.
What?
Uh-huh.
Restful.
Yeah.
That's why I
She's
grab
right.
my balls
It's like
all the
a
time.
stress
Just,
ball.
it's a stress ball.
Yeah, you
That's
don't
it.
want to squeeze those though.
Miss Polly, do you grab your boobs?
I do.
I would too.
Miss Polly's very slutty.
I knew
though.
she wouldn't keep me alone in this.
She's very slutty, so she does all sorts of stuff we do, guys.
My God, I am such a slut. Yes.
are.
I just can't help.
Favorite slut.
When I think about me, I touch myself.
Oh, I missed you so much, Miss Polly.
I know. Gail, how about you?
I do not. But I
don't
may
either.
start.
So is this like, where did you find this? Is this a thing?
I guess it is a thing. So I was literally looking at this and I went, this is Marcella.
Sorry, that's
I
funny.
have to ask this question.
That's so funny.
I don't know why I do it.
I
It
don't know.
actually triggers oxytocin.
What?
What?
The
No
feel-good
way.
hormone.
Well, there we go.
Yes.
Well,
So,
okie dokie.
When your hand stimulates your boob, it stimulates the nerves that trigger the brain's pituitary gland to release oxytocin, which is a feel-good
So
hormone.
it's making me happy.
Yes, it is.
It makes you happy.
Interesting.
That is interesting.
There you go.
I don't think I've ever heard anyone say it that way, but
Me neither. And when I saw this, did
Yeah.
you see the second I asked the question? She immediately did it.
she got excited. She's like, yes, my boob. That's really funny.
It's because it feels good.
It
Makes
does.
you
It does feel good.
happy.
I don't think I've ever been like,
Everybody
oh, my
likes boobs, though. I don't. I
Truth.
think
boob. Very true.
guys,
Even
girls,
gay
gay
guys like
guys,
boobs.
like everybody
guys.
likes boobs.
Even gay guys like boobs.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's true.
You think it looks like
Everybody likes boobs.
It's comfortable.
What?
Pillow.
Yep.
You can lay your head on it.
They're warm,
That's true.
squishy.
Boobs are good. Boobs are good.
How do you feel,
Boobs are
Spider?
great.
You like boobs?
I give boobs 2 thumbs up.
Yeah.
If I had more thumbs, I'd give it more thumbs up.
Give boobs 2 grabs.
More boobs.
Boobs. I just like saying boob. Boob.
All right. I think we need to go question of the day, guys.
Yay.
All right.
The two posh girls ask the question of the day.
Is it okay to respond to a text from an ex when you have a current partner?
Fuck no.
The text was just a general "How are you?" text.
Fuck no.
Uh-oh.
No, why would you respond to an ex that way?
Well, I'm assuming the "How are you" is trying to start something. I'm assuming.
I feel like it's irrelevant. If it's an ex, because here's the deal. How would you like it if your ex, if you would, how would you like it if you found out an ex of your, well, I can't say you guys, but let's say.
You can say you guys.
No, like, okay. Well, I mean, but y'all are normal, so no, I can't. You guys, you get, you guys are never gauged, and like, I'm sure you have your own stuff, but y'all are just not the normal gauge. But I would not. I know anyone I was dating, if an ex contacted me, they would not want me to respond, and you would. Nobody want.
Yeah, but can I ask you a question? Because you have this situation. How is it okay for you to talk to your ex-wife with your child? And y'all talk about so many things, but then for some reason, the person who doesn't have that, they can't talk to
That makes no sense. I get your question.
It makes all the sense in the world.
No, hold on.
Yes, it
Before,
does.
you don't get to answer because you've been married for 20 years. So let me let me answer. If it's an ex-wife that you don't have kids with, you can't speak on this one because your ex-husband's passed away. You don't even get to judge it now.
But that was a time
hang
before.
Hang on. But you got 20 years of experience past it, so you can't even you can't speak relevantly now because 20 years you can't. You're not.
I can. What if an ex-boyfriend of mine
we're not talking about ex-boyfriend. She's asking my ex-wife.
She did.
So you're not relevant in this one.
Okay.
There's a relevance. You're relevant, just not in this topic.
Really, Bernie?
Yes. Not the relevance.
Wow.
Is this. Well, what I'm saying is that here's the deal.
Technical.
If you have children with someone, you don't got an option. It's good to, as a parent who has an ex-wife, it's so much nicer to have peace with your ex-wife or ex-husband than to be married to them or to be not married to them and have children and have turmoil. If you're not married, if you guys have no kids, you have no fucking business talking to that ex.
I know, but how do you think that makes the other person feel? Because I can tell you from experience that it's really hard to know that person continuously talks to the ex. And yeah, it might be for kids, but how do you never know? Like, I don't know. You're just always in contact.
Two things. One thing that part of that has to do with you, your insecurity. So it is. And the other part is, hold on, let me finish before you say, hold on. Y'all got it. Y'all women, wait before you respond.
We're all ready.
The other part is this.
I'm about to pour it for you.
The other part is this. If you're, it's important for your significant other to work hard to make you feel comfortable too, because you can't, that's the biggest part also. There's two things. You have to be comfortable in yourself and in your relationship and confident and not insecure. If you're dating someone or you're with someone who's like being frivolous with they're doing shit that's inappropriate. Everyone here knows what's appropriate and what's not. There's no gauge of like, well, it's okay. And if you're dating someone, you're in a relationship with someone, you don't need to be flirting with anyone else. You don't need to be putting that bullshit up. You just don't put that vibe up. If you have an ex-wife or an ex-husband, it's important to have those relationships because, you can't shut that shit off because that's your kid's parent or whatever. But it's important and it's up to your mates to not be fucking around and saying stupid shit. So
you're okay then if you date a girl who has kids and they talk to their ex?
Fuck. Yes. You don't get to, as the boyfriend or girlfriend, you don't get an option. That's stupid. Yeah. That's stupid. And if you can get upset about that, I think you're not thinking about the kids. Because what you have to think about is the children.
I think it's easy to say when you have a child and then your partner has a child, then that makes sense. But when you are in a relationship where only one significant other has that situation, I think it changes the whole entire playing field in a way.
Well, here's the other thing about it is that if you're dating someone who has kids and you're feeling insecure because they have a great relationship with their kids, whether it's a wife or whatever, then that's not a healthy relationship, period. Because
I don't think it's an insecurity thing. I just think it's like you have to kind of put yourself in that. And you can't speak for that because you have a child and you have to talk. So you just don't know what it's like for the other person sometimes because some people have a hard time putting themselves in other people's shoes. And I can tell you, like, it's not always the most.
Yeah, but that
has nothing to do with me being insecure. It's just like,
you're not thinking about this.
Well, I think it seems like then they have a bond with the ex that is something that you can't even relate to or penetrate. And it's like they're
and you never
little
will.
Circle and it's kind of threatening.
Yeah,
the thing.
I agree with that.
But the thing is this: no matter what, that's an insecurity in yourself. It has nothing to do with you. If you're feeling, no, it may be hard. But at the end of the day, if you're feeling insecure because your girlfriend has a great relationship with his kids, ex-wife, the natural thing to think, I'd probably think, would imagine, well, they used to be together and they loved each other, and what if they have a moment together and you don't feel like a fucking idiot, right? But at the end of the day, again, you have to be in a situation where you're dating someone who's mature enough to respect you.
Well, yeah.
Right?
But you're saying that because you have that situation.
Dude, I've dated people who, I've came into this situation. So I can speak from pure experience from being divorced and dated people who didn't have kids that I had a good relationship with my ex-wife or we didn't, different situations. But
I'm saying...
Did you date anyone with kids before you had a kid?
Yeah, absolutely.
And that was fine for you?
Yeah, it didn't... The way I saw it was that if they wanted to be with that person, they would. And I'm 100% sure there's people who are exes that they step out over that line. There's no question about it. People cheat, they do stupid shit, right? We know that. But I would like to imagine we're talking a perfect situation. Like if you can find someone who's going to respect the fact that, hey, we're in a relationship and this is my ex-wife, and as long as they're making sure that everything's on the up and up, and they don't have to tell you every single conversation that you have them, because someone's like, hey, Jet shit his pants, or Jet is sick and he has diarrhea or is throwing up or whatnot. I don't want to know those conversations, or the girlfriend doesn't want to know those conversations, but I want to know if, I'd want to know if your ex called you at 11:30 at night. The fuck's your ex calling you 11:30 at night for, just to say, oh, I needed someone to talk to. I don't agree with that shit. Like, but at the end of the day, if they're just co-parenting, that's a different thing. If they're co-parenting, you're co-parenting. But I agree. I don't think that a relationship, like with my ex-wife, I don't go in her house. We don't talk about boyfriends and girlfriends. Like we may say like, hey, how are you? And it's just a bullshit casual way, which is good because we co-parent together. But I don't want to know what she's doing. She doesn't want to know what I'm doing. And I think it keeps it as boundaries is more of it, is the healthy boundaries. And I think maybe at the end of the day, boundaries are important.
Boundaries,
right? I think maybe that was the best way we could have knocked this whole conversation out, was saying, let's just have boundaries. But at the end of the day, it's kind of tough.
I still think that if it's one-sided.
What do you mean by that?
I mean by that if you're in a relationship, like I said, where you are the one that has the children and the other person doesn't, there shouldn't be so much insecurity actually from the person with the child. If someone that was friends, like I can honestly say I have a boyfriend in Austria. No, it is not, because I have friends.
100% apples
No,
to
it's
rocks.
not.
Yes, it is.
Why?
An ex-husband or wife.
An ex-boyfriend.
Hold on. You're saying, well, if let's just say me. Let's say you and I are married. I'm just for example of the sake here, right? Let's say you and I got divorced, right? We were married, we got divorced, and you started dating someone who, I'm trying to think the best way to how to example, but you're saying because someone had a ex-husband or wife that they co-parent with, it's okay for an ex-boyfriend or girlfriend to reach out?
Like I have an ex-boyfriend in Austria. When I go home and we get together as a group, the group that I grew up with, that guy is there.
That has nothing to do with you. What that has to do with, though, hold on.
That has everything to do with it.
If Patrick told you, fuck that, we're going to have some problems.
He would never do that.
No. Hold on. I agree. Patrick's the shit. However, hold on. If Patrick said to you, that shit's not happening, it's going to cause problems, you wouldn't do it. You'd be like, no matter. No, that's not the point. That is not the point.
Because he wouldn't do that.
But that's not the point. That's that's not the point. The point is if you're dating someone who has that problem.
Polly's dying.
If you're dating someone that has that, like if you're dating someone, and just like my point earlier is like, hey, you got to be dating someone who respects you, who gives you comfort there.
Yes.
And to make that happen, to make that to where you're not feeling like you're going out of bounds. If Patrick wasn't fully comfortable because you make him feel so comfortable in y'all's relationship, he doesn't give a shit. Like he cares, but he trusts you.
Right.
If you gave him reason to not trust you, if he felt like, you know what, when you're around your ex-boyfriend, I have an issue with that because you guys you cross the line somehow. There's no way in the world you're going to sit here and tell me I would still do it. Fuck Patrick, stop there. You'd be like, I'm not going to do it. It's not worth ruffling my marriage.
I don't see it that way. Patrick would be introduced to that person. But it's not shady, though.
But he's not what I said. If Patrick was uncomfortable,
had an issue with it, would you do it?
No.
Yes or no? If Patrick said, Gabby, I don't want you doing that. I don't feel comfortable with you hanging out with your ex-boyfriend.
I literally have to think about it because it's so foreign.
No, because he's basically saying if you respect your husband, you're not going to do it.
Right?
Right.
Correct.
But even though in this situation we know Patrick wouldn't say that because your marriage is fine, but Bernie's just saying that if your husband said anything that makes him uncomfortable, you wouldn't go out of your way to make him
You would be like, fuck yourself, I'm going to do it anyways. You'd be like, okay, fuck it. If this makes you feel uncomfortable, Patrick, I'm not going to do it because I love you, because of a good marriage. It's not worth ruffling my marriage with you, our trust.
Right.
So, but if you were to say, fuck it, I don't care.
Honestly, I don't know how to answer that question because Patrick is so secure. No, I didn't. Because he's so secure. So if he was insecure, I don't know if I would still be with him.
Okay, you hit the nail on the head. What I was saying earlier is, but if
is he American?
Yeah, he's badass and American.
Your Siri is going off, by the way.
Oh, my Siri is saying all of it.
But that's the thing is that, but you guys, right? So there's security. Patrick's super secure. You're super secure with him. You guys it's not even a thought in your mind of like, I would imagine it's not very much a thought in your mind of like, who's that and why they're calling you and da-da-da. You're like, fuck whatever, you trust him. He trusts you too. But if it was not the case, if he was insecure, if
Miss
you were
Polly,
insecure,
how do you feel about this?
She wouldn't be with Patrick if he was insecure.
and vice
What
versa.
was the original question in the first place?
Is it okay to respond to a text from an ex when you have a current partner and the text was just a general "How are you"?
I mean, I communicate rarely with my ex just because we really don't have anything to talk about other than, you know, if he has given me any money or not, or if
pertinent shit.
the
That's
taxes
it.
or something. I mean, it's really random. I don't ever get texts from him like, "Hey, how you doing?" Occasionally, he will text me and like, "How's your mom?"
So you guys
You
have
know,
a history, right?
that kind of thing,
But why?
which is very general,
Yes.
But I would,
you
and I would
respond, though?
respond.
Would you
very
respond
generally.
if you were in a relationship? Let's say, I mean, you've dated on and off since you've been divorced, and as we all know, it's hard to find great people, and it's that are this and that, and you enjoy. We go back and forth in relationships, but if you're in a good situation where you're dating someone and you guys are fucking rocking, it's great. 8 months into it, a year into it, there's no bullshit, very little bullshit, and then you guys feel so secure in yourselves, and then an ex that was a big part of your life, or just someone you used to fuck,
Oh my God.
reaches out. Would you want to potentially upset your current boyfriend?
She would answer because she would answer that her mom's okay. It's not
No,
threatening,
I'm not
right?
correct.
I
It's a
would
pertinent
answer
thing.
back as general as
Right.
he
Correct.
texted me.
Right.
I would answer as general as he texted me. So it wouldn't be a case of, I wouldn't really even have to explain to my current partner. I would just, because honestly, it's no big deal. It doesn't raise a flag.
Yeah.
Now, if he said, "Hey, I'm going to be in town. I'd really like to see you. Would you be up for that?" I'd be like, "Hey, you want to meet my new man? Sure, let's get together."
That's really actually.
That's a really good answer.
Miss Polly, you're the best.
Spider, how do you feel?
Talk to whoever you want because I'm talking to whoever I want. So it doesn't make a difference to
It's
me.
like, fuck it, whatever.
How about you, Gail?
No, I wouldn't. I'm not comfortable with it, but I know it goes on.
But you wouldn't be
Yeah,
comfortable, right?
I guess I would just say trust no one.
Trust
yeah.
no one.
Yeah.
I'm right there with you.
You know,
That's a fucking fact.
Interesting.
That's something you can take to the bank. Trust. I don't
Trust
put
no
shit
one.
past anyone nowadays.
Well, you guys, I love it. I love these questions
Me too.
of the day when we agree to disagree on certain things. I love those. And we're going to thank everyone for listening, and we'll be back for part 2 with Gail. Stay tuned.
Yeah.
Bye.